Welcome to this explainer. If you're really committed to your own personal growth, you already know that the daily grind, well, it can just be completely exhausting sometimes, right? Today, we're unpacking a truly profound piece of writing. It really tackles the heart of how we view success, how we handle our struggles, and maybe most importantly, how we look at our personal timelines. Let's dive right into it.
So, I want to ask you something directly, right out of the gate here. Are you wanting a race or are you on a journey? Actually stop and think about that for a second. The source text we're looking at today draws this massive line in the sand. It basically says life is not a race. So often, we get totally caught up in this chaotic rush, don't we? We're sprinting towards some imaginary finish line, constantly looking sideways to see who's ahead of us. And honestly, we kind of panic if someone else hits a milestone before we do. But here's the thing. A race implies a fixed track and a ticking clock. A journey? Well, a journey implies discovery, varying terrain, and most importantly, your own unique destination.
Okay, let's get into section 1, redefining your personal timeline. We constantly face this core conflict. The illusion is that life is a race, and that early success is the only valid success. I mean, we see those 30 under 30 lists all the time, the overnight prodigies, and we just internalize that as the gold standard. But the reality? The reality is that life is a journey. As the text explicitly reminds us, sure, some people succeed early, while others simply take longer. And neither path is wrong. The absolute crucial point here is that your timing is your own. You are not behind schedule, because you know what? You're running on your own clock. Taking a bit longer to build something truly meaningful is perfectly fine. Moving right along to section 2, the reality of the struggle. Now, the source text doesn't shy away from the ugly parts of the process, which I love. It plainly states that there are going to be days when you feel incredibly tired, and not just physically, but totally emotionally drained from the effort. You'll feel lost. You'll start questioning if the path you chose is even the right one. And finally, you might just be completely ready to give up. Honestly, the urge to quit is inevitable. But the text provides this amazing lifeline for that exact moment. It says, on those days, remind yourself why you started. When you are literally ready to throw in the towel, that is your exact trigger to look backward and reconnect with the fire that ignited your journey in the very first place. Every person you see is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Let's just pause and let that heavy concept land for a second. When you're feeling lost and tired, it is so incredibly easy to look at someone else and think, wow, they have it all figured out. But comparing your messy reality to someone else's polished, filtered highlight reel, that's a rigged game. Let's be real, nobody posts their daily existential dread for the world to see, right? The source reminds us of our shared human struggle. Even the people who look like they are totally winning that race are navigating their own silent battles. You are absolutely not alone in finding this hard. All right, on to section 3, transforming failure into fuel. Notice how this fundamentally rewrites the dictionary. The text urges us, don't let failures define you. Instead, a mistake is just a lesson. A setback is purely educational material. It's literally just a setup for a comeback. Think about how freeing that is. Failure is no longer this heavy identity. It's not something that permanently stamps you. Actually, it's just a data point. It is the very fuel you need to correct your course and come back even stronger. Let's walk through the mechanics of this real quick. It's a 3-step cycle derived directly from our source. Step 1, the setback. It hurts, it's frustrating, but hey, it happens to everyone. Step 2, the lesson. This is where you actually extract the value. You ask, what went wrong? How do I fix it? And then step 3, the comeback. You return, fully equipped with that new knowledge. The text makes a really profound observation here. It says the strongest people are not the ones who never fail. No way. The strongest people are simply the ones who refuse to quit. They're the ones who relentlessly complete this exact 3-step cycle over and over and over again. Which brings us to section 4, the power of consistent action. Success doesn't come from being perfect. Perfectionism is that tiny little 5% sliver that usually just paralyzes us from doing anything at all. The text tells us point blank that success comes from showing up every single day, even when you really don't feel like it. We just talked about those days where you feel tired and lost, right? Well, success completely abandons perfection in favor of raw consistency. Just show up, put another brick in the wall, even if it's a slightly crooked brick. And here is exactly why that consistency matters so much over time. Today, your job is to stop doubting and take action. Then in the ongoing, messy middle, you just take small, consistent steps. You keep learning, you keep growing. Why? Because of where you'll be a year from now. The source states that small steps taken consistently create massive results over time. It gives us this slightly chilling but incredibly motivating thought: 1 year from now, you'll wish you had started today. Think about that. The time is going to pass anyway. Where do you want to be when you get there?
So how do we actually behave on that timeline? Well, instead of doubting yourself, you have to try to believe in yourself, even when nobody else does. You have to be your own first believer. And instead of making noise, seeking immediate validation, talking constantly about what you're going to do, try to work hard in silence. As the text enthusiastically advises, let your ultimate success make the noise. Letting your results speak for you is far more powerful and undeniably louder than anything you could ever just say out loud.
Finally, we arrive at section 5, writing your next chapter. Tough times never last, but tough people do. It's such a timeless truth that our source anchors on. No matter how difficult life becomes, the situation is temporary, but your resilience is permanent. The only thing standing between you and your waiting future, between you and your ultimate goals, is the simple decision to just keep going. You push, you believe, you absolutely never give up. You simply outlast the tough times.
Because the absolute truth is, your dreams are possible. Your future is waiting for you to claim it. As the text concludes so beautifully, your best chapter is still being written. You are the author. You hold the pen. Those setbacks you faced, they're just plot twists in an incredible story of growth. The narrative is entirely yours to control, and it starts right now, in your own time, at your own pace. So the most crucial point is this: the journey is yours. The timing is yours. The resilience is yours. Knowing that your absolute best chapter is still out there, just waiting for your consistent, quiet effort. What will you write today? Really think about that as we wrap up this explainer. Go take that one small step. I'll see you next time.